Okay, so the other day you accompanied your sister as her nurse
Yes.
as she went to have a tooth
Extracted.
extracted. Yikes.
She had a gum issue, and so
She dreaded it for weeks. You dreaded
weeks,
it with her
months.
months, and you do the same thing. And it led to a discussion that you two had as you were waiting to get her tooth extracted in the dentist's office about the fear factor that you both have deep inside you that you can't defeat.
Yeah.
So unburden
Well,
yourself
we
about
didn't have
your
it at the
fear
dentist's
factor.
office,
Oh,
because
okay.
at the dentist's office, he was really nice. He was a great dentist, and he was funny, and we talked for like a half an hour, just telling us stories about when he was in Vegas, when he was young, and blah, 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 but whatever. But then after, I said to her, it's so weird. I have such a fear factor that if I could change one thing about me, I would change how I'm always afraid of things. Like, I don't know. And Joyce, my sister, has the same exact thing, and so does my best friend Francesca. So the three of us have this fear thing. It's just this fear of, I think it has to do, although I think it started way before when my mother got sick, and then my mother didn't make it, and then my father got sick way before my mother, and he didn't make it. But my father, to me, was always like, larger than life, and nothing could ever happen to my father. And then when something happened to my father, that was like the first shake. So then you think, okay, if something can happen to him, then anything can happen anytime, anywhere. Because before that, you don't think about it. I didn't think about it, and neither did my sister. Then when my mother, who was going to live forever, my mother was going to live forever, and I would say that to her. I said, Ma, you're going to live forever. She'd say, no, I'm not going to live forever, and you're going to keep going on just like I did without my mother. But we would just be like, no, that's never going to happen. And then my sister and I, even to this day, sometimes she'll call me and she'll say, how are we going on without Mommy? I'm like, I don't know. But the fear factor is something is going to happen. It's always like with my sister's tooth, even though, so they took her in, and then I took a walk. I said, how long is it going to be? They said 45 minutes. And then the woman said to me at the front, she said, why don't you give me your phone number so in case, I'll call you when she's done. And then I thought, well, I'll go get a yogurt in the meantime. So I'm walking around, I'm thinking, oh God, I hope I don't get a phone call. Because what if, like, I said to her before, she was so nervous. I said, Joyce, don't have a heart attack. I mean, what are you going to do? Have a heart attack in the dentist's office? I said, you got to pull it together. And then I'm thinking, if she calls me and says, I'm sorry, I already had the headline of like the New York Post. Woman dies in just having an extraction because she had a heart attack. Like that, I can go there. It's very Woody Allen, but I go there.
It's Woody Allen.
And my sister, like the other day, my sister tried to call me, and I don't know, I didn't have my cell phone. I was undoing groceries or something. And then she finally calls me, and I see it. I said, hi. She goes, where were you? What? I've been calling you. Oh, my God. And she's crying. I said, Joyce, what's the matter? I was so upset. I thought, you always say sometimes you this, that, I don't know what happened to you. There you go. So this fear factor of always fearful of something bad, I don't know. You don't have that.
I don't have that. I have
You got a
your
lot of other
basic
things,
human day-to-day fears of this and that, but you fear dying and I don't fear dying. And
Yeah.
it boils down to, I believe things spiritually that you don't quite hang on to the way I do.
No, we don't have the same beliefs like
Yeah.
that. But
Because I believe in an afterlife and I believe in a God's plan. And I am trying with all my might to follow God's plan. And sometimes it gets hazy and sometimes it gets rocky. But I pray the right way, which is, don't push me over the cliff, be there for me. And God has always been there for me.
But
So
you don't
why
even
should
have
I
a fear.
fear?
You don't have a fear. If you have to go to a doctor for some crazy thing, you just go. If I have to go to a doctor, I'll cancel the appointment,
About
then I'll
15
reschedule the
times,
appointment.
yeah.
I do it all the time.
Mhm.
And then my sister's the same way, and Francesca, she doesn't do it as much because she's a doctor, so she kind of knows more about that. But I don't know. It's not always about just dying. It's just about anything. I'm just afraid of things. Even though I lived in New York City and I'm the toughest person that can walk, and I'm not
True.
afraid of walking in
I
Times
second
Square
that
at 3 in the
emotion.
morning
She's
and
not.
by myself. But the other stuff, it's like I don't know. I'm a very control freak too. So maybe that's it. The control freak part of it takes over.
And you are a Woody Allen hypochondriac.
No, I'm not as hypochondriac as you make me out to be. No way.
No.
I'm not as
I
hypochondriac.
have a sore throat. I'm going to die.
No.
I have a
no.
sore throat. I have COVID. No, you don't.
No, that's not true. You
True.
are the hypochondriac. Every day there's something wrong with you.
Okay, but that's overuse injuries.
Oh, so
my
that's
knee
okay.
is bad.
Okay, and then I have to hear,
Okay, but
oh,
they're
my knee is bad. Oh, my
self-inflicted.
back is bad. Oh, my.
They're self-inflicted.
So it's self-inflicted, but you're still having something. I know I'm going to need another knee. I'm going to have an operation. I go to you. You don't need a knee operation. Oh yeah. I know it already.
Okay, but that's not hypochondria. That's like
But then it's not real.
giving
Yeah, but then
into
it's not
what
real.
I
You
inflicted upon
No,
myself.
but you make up the stories so much that you start believing, oh, my back is so bad. Oh my God, I know I'm gonna need a back up. I'm like, you don't need a back operation. We go to the doctor. He's like, you don't need a back operation. I told you don't. Well, I don't know. I was just thinking.
Maybe I'm trying to unjinx myself.
Anyway, I got more of a fear factor than you, but it's okay.